Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Talbot, and I am proud to present the undefeated 1964 boys varsity lacrosse team for induction into the Hall of Fame. To say that the 1964 boys lacrosse team had a season for the ages would be an understatement. Led by the inspirational leadership of Coach Frank Dorsey, the team managed to go undefeated, finishing the season with a record of 12-0. Amongst the many highlights of this special season were big wins over Taft, Loomis, St. Mark's, Choate, and Mount Herman. The season finished with a huge win over the lacrosse powerhouse of that time, Kingswood. The team was led by 12 returning lettermen, including Tuck Cantrell and Stephen Durant, who were both all New England selections in 1963. Among the new faces were Carter Hunt on defense, Carl Stevens, Ed Green, Cliff Starrett, and Bob Foster at midfield. The team benefited from the fact that lacrosse was growing in popularity and attracted a strong group of the school's best athletes. Offensively, the team was led by a duo of co-captains Paul Doty and Stephen Durant. Durant became the top midfield scorer in all of Prep New England. The skilled and ever-dangerous Doty led a potent attack, finishing with 28 goals and 44 points to earn all New England selection. The team outscored their opponents 90-31 on the season, which is an average of 9-2. The team's undefeated season earned them the Masters League championship. It was indeed a magical year for lacrosse at Williston Academy. Will Coach Frank Dorsey and all team members present please join us on stage to receive your awards.
Gentlemen, can I ask you to just stand right up front of the, it would be great.
These are my remarks. The first item is, why are we dressed this way? And what we used to do was board the Blue Dart and show up at some foreign campus and come off in our Bermuda shorts and blazers, and there would be giggles and laughs. And after we kicked their ass, we got a lot more respect. The other question, the burning question, is how in the world does a team go undefeated? Well, it starts with the parents of the players, some of whom gave them some really good talents, and some of whom gave lesser talents. I won't distinguish between these guys. We also had parent support. We had invented tailgating, essentially, for the lacrosse team, and we had a lot of parent support there. There's a long history of lacrosse. George Buell started it a few years before we played. Some guys are still here from previous years, built a good, strong tradition, so it was easy to coach these guys because we had good examples. We also had cooperation from the administration, but they weren't always aware of it. Some of you will remember Howie, the equipment guy, who stole Bab's new soccer jerseys for the lacrosse team, and we appreciated that. We have two volunteer coaches who helped me, Newell Doty, Paul's brother, and Griff Griffin, and I wouldn't have been able to do any of what I did without them paying particular attention to particular groups of the defense or the offense. We did have some stars, and we had stars right up the middle. Goalie, Tuck Cantrell, defenseman Robert Montgomery, who has some family here today. Steve Durant at midfield. He's already in the Hall of Fame for a variety of reasons, and Paul Doty at attack for a variety of reasons. But we also had lots of bit players, and I don't mean small bit players, important bit players who contributed, who major contributions. So what put together this undefeated season was this incredible group of guys. Thank you.
So I get to stand up here a bit. So, Frank, I like to think of lacrosse back in the 60s as Disneyland. It was this magical, mysterious game. You have to understand, it's played all over the country now, but back then it was pretty much Baltimore, Long Island, a little bit of upstate New York. And Frank, he was like the keys to Disneyland for me and all us guys, right? And we got to play this sport that was so, I'm getting emotional again. That was so much fun, and it's been a big part of my life. And we all want to give it a stick. So this says Frank Dorsey. Thanks so much. So, have you got it? So this is Puppy Dog Gould. He's in the Hall of Fame for the undefeated football team and lacrosse team, and he's got something he wants to say.
They didn't put my name in the program. It's P-U-P, just in case you want autographs later. I wrote this poem for two of the most important men in my life. One of whom is standing left to me, and my college coach, who is departed, but our Bruce Allison is in 9 halls of fame, and Doris has always been in my hall of fame. I was a miserable 8th grader, totally depressed and miserable. I earned my nickname by following my brother around so much because I was so depressed until I touched a lacrosse stick. So it is in Doris's honor that I wrote this poem. We know how it started. You knew sticks, shaped by roots, fashioned by grain, each as different as the seed that bore it. Wood, leather, gut. You knew how to string them, how to tie them together, what parts to tighten, what parts to loose. Wood, leather, gut. You knew how to use them, how to catch and hold, fake and throw, the sense of where to be. Wood, leather, gut. And now here you are surrounded by a forest of sticks, still strung together, forever entwined with you.